Hello and welcome to another useless review with me, Chris. I'm particularly excited about this one today. We're having a look at Codex Chaos Space Marines. Yeah, the day has finally arrived. All of you Chaos worshippers, look out. Now, mind you, this is just Chaos Marines. I have not had a look through this book yet, so this is going to be a cold read from me. Of course, this is not, I don't think this is going to cover Death Guard or Thousand Sons. It might touch on them, but I don't think it will because obviously you have to refer back to the other books. And of course, everybody knows by now, I would think, World Eaters getting their own book soon enough. So hopefully for all you Chaos players, this should hold you over until, well, at least you Khorne players anyway, should hold you over until that day. So Chaos Space Marines. Yes. Wonderful hardcover book. This is thick. This is a thick book. I suspect this is like the same thickness as like the Eldari book. This is a tome. A tome. A tome. Yeah, I like ye. Chaos Space Marines. We're just gonna start right into it. Again, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of reviews on this book as far as comparing previous iterations of Chaos and everything like that. I have not played Chaos in a very long time, so I'm a little out of touch as far as, what is included, what things do, but this isn't that kind of review. Chaos Space Marines. They are hate-filled slayers of kings and conquerors of worlds, destroyers, enslavers, and agents of ruin. They are the Imperium's fear made manifest. That the noblest of souls can become the most horrifying and twisted. Once the strongest and purest defenders of the humanity, they embraced a far darker fate. Now they wage their vengeful long war, reaping the rewards of ambition, treachery, and heresy, no matter the cost. They are the fallen angels of death and humankind's nemesis. All right. I'm in. So on the table of contents, we get page 3, introduction. Then we get into Chaos Space Marines, the Seed of Treachery, Abaddon the Despoiler, Demons and the Warp, Traitors Tarot, Imperium Nihilus, Masters of Woe, Demon Engines, the Lost and the Damned, Black Legion, Wordbearers, Night Lords, Iron Warriors, Alpha Legion, Emperor's Children, Fabius Bile, Huron Blackheart, Warzone Villamus, Legacy of Renegades. By page 56, we get into the showcase. By 72, we get into the rules, combat patrol, Battleforged rules, detachment abilities, legions. We get into Black Legion, Wordbearers, Night Lords, Iron Warriors, Alpha Legion, Emperor's Children, Red Corsairs, and Creations of Bile. Stratagems and Marks of Chaos. Then we get into the Army rules by 113. Relics, Dark Hereticus Discipline, Malefic Discipline, Prayers of the Dark Gods, and then we get into the Warlord traits. Matched play rules by page 123, chapter proved rules, crusade rules. Then we get into 144, we get into the data sheets. In the data sheets, man, it's long. It goes Abaddon Despoiler, Harkin World Claimer, Huron Blackheart, Heretic Astarte Demon Prince, Fabius Bile, Cypher, Master of Possession, Chaos Lord and Terminator Armor, Sorcerer and Terminator Armor, Lucius the Eternal, Lord Discordant on Hellstalker. Oh, that's okay, that thing. Warp Smith, Dark Apostle, Exalted Champion, Dark Commune, Legionnaires, Cultist Mob, Accursed Cultist, Chaos Terminator Squad, Master of Executions, Possessed, Chosen, Hellbrute, Noise Marines, Venom Crawler, Chaos Spawn, Chaos Bikers, Raptors, Warp Talons, Havocs, Obliterators, Chaos Land Raider, Chaos Vindicator, Chaos Predator Destructor, Chaos Predator Annihilator, Defiler, Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend, Chaos Rhino, Hell Drake, Khorne Lord of Skulls, Nochlith Crown. Nochlith? I'm not sure if I said that one right. Then we get into the war gear on 176, weapon profiles, points 180, and then rules reference at 182, glossary reference, and chaos point trackers I assume the Chaos Point tracker is probably for the Crusade rules. Yeah, probably. Chaos Point trackers. Interesting. So we get into the introduction. And of course, it's, this is covering all the generic, well, not all the generic, but like the more common Marines, obviously Black Legion, Night Lords, stuff like that, as opposed to Death Guard, Thousand Suns, and of course we know World Eaters is coming. Got to keep waiting. Oh man, I like this Chaos piece. I like this piece. It's really, really cool. It has a very classic kind of vibe to it, yet not, It has almost the old Realm of Chaos kind of vibe with the whole twisted imagery and everything like that, and like, tentacles and spikes and, all these crazy crap. Yeah. I dig it. Oh, Chaos trying to draw me back in, right? Anyway. Do you hear the voices too? So the first bit on page 6 is the Seed of Treachery, Genesis of Angels. And I assume this goes into probably the Horus Heresy and how they all turned and became bad. You get a nice little thing on Abaddon the Despoiler, Demons and the Warp. Oh, wow. Look. This is a really interesting art piece. It's like an ink drawing, but like it's, like it's a black and white ink drawing, but with the, splash of red. I like, it's kind of that noir kind of vibe, like Frank Miller. Yeah, I kind of dig this. It has an old school vibe. Man, these Chaos, it's an old school kind of vibe to this. I am in. Trader's Tarot. We get into, looks like a short story of some sort. Yeah, it's like a short story. Interesting. The Imperium Nihilus. Masters of Woe. Demon Engines. The Lost and the Damned. Then we get into Black Legion. Spear of the War Master. The Mythos of Horus. Destinies Reforged. Very, very cool. Oh, man. Then we get into the Word Bearers. Dark Apostle. Get a little short story with it. Night Lords, Terror Made Manifest. Again, like, can anybody be surprised that Night Lords are bad guys? I mean, is anybody surprised? I'm not. Iron Warriors, Iron Within, Iron Without. Very, very cool. Alpha Legion, The Coils of Deception. The Emperor's Children, The Perfect Sons of the Phoenician. Fabius Bile, Progenitor, Clone Father, Spider. And Creations of Bile. Huron Blackheart, the Tyrant of Badab, Master of the Red Corsairs. I like that piece, the art piece for that. Very, very cool. I'm always more impressed with the art. Then we get into Warzone Villamus. Pacts and Diversions. Our Future Stolen. Legacy of the Renegades. Man. Cypher and the Fallen. Giving us a whole breakdown. Color guide for Chaos Marines. Brazen Beast, The Cleaved. Company of Misery. They sound like fun to be around. The Grey Death. Flawless Host. Deathmongers. Magma Hounds. The Purge. And the Scourged. Scourged? Then we get into, by page 56, we get into the showcase pages, showing off the Marines. I always like looking at the art pages, like, showing the models and the showcase and everything like that, because sometimes they like to hide things in there. So I always like to look for little Easter eggs and everything like that. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those guys who's, looking for the little Easter eggs and everything. Lots of pretty pics. I like pretty pics. Do you ever think we're going to see an update on Chaos Terminators? Like a new model? Because I assume these models are the old ones. They look older. Got some of the new Chaos Cultists going on. Get pictures of the Possessed. We got a preview of those a little while back at Warhammer Fest. I like these possessed dudes. They're crazy looking. Black Legion Dark Apostle. He's pretty darn cool. Get into more of the Chaos Marines. Chaos Havocs. Reaper Cannons. Reaper Chain Guns. Heavy Bolters. Missile Launchers. Las Cannons. I like, too, that they hold them on their shoulders. Old school. Kicking it old school, as it were. Obliterators. Raptors. Big possessed guy. I like the possessed are just so huge. They're just so darn big. More of the cultist duders. Yeah. Man, oh man. Chosen Champion, Warpsmith. Lots of pretty picks for Chaos Marines. Mauler. Big battle page. Mechanicus and Chaos. Yeah. Then we get into the rules by page 72. Get into the Battle Forge rules, Army rules, Match Play, Crusade, data sheets, war gear points, and rules reference. The Combat Patrol. I assume, have we gotten a picture of that already? At the time of recording this, I don't think I've seen anything as far as the Combat Patrol. I might be wrong though. I'm kind of short-term memory. Detachment abilities. Ooh, okay, let's have a look at this. A Chaos Space Marine detachment is one that only includes models from the traitorous Astartes keyword, excluding models with the Agent of Chaos or unaligned keyword. Champions of Chaos can include a maximum of 1 Chaos Lord or 1 Demon Prince and 1 Dark Commune unit in each Chaos Space Marine detachment in your army. Okay. Mere Mortals, you cannot include more cultist units than traitorous Astartes core infantry units in each Chaos Space Marine detachment in your army. Cultist character model cannot be your warlord if your army contains any heretic Astarte character models. That's interesting to note. And then the Legion traits. Each Traitor Legion, Renegade Chapter, and Chaos Warband has been uniquely twisted by the ruinous powers, and all have perfected their own methods of slaughter and destruction. All traitorous Astartes units, excluding cultists and agents of chaos units, described in the Slaves of Darkness rule, see right, with this ability and all the models in them gain a Legion trait provided every Legion unit from your army, excluding Agents of Chaos and unaligned units, is from the same Legion. The trait gain depends upon which Legion they are from, as shown on the following pages. If your Legion does not include or does not have any associated set of Legion rules, you must instead select Legion rules for your army to use. See opposite. And so Slaves to Darkness. You have, looks like a corn. Some traders have given themselves entirely to the service of the dark gods and they are so lost to damnation that they barely resemble the warriors they once were. You can include Khorne Berserker units in a Chaos Space Marine detachment using the datasheet and points values for them found in Codex World Eaters. Such units, when included in the Chaos Space Marine detachment, always have the elite battlefield role, must replace all their faction keywords with Chaos Khorne, Heretic Astartes, Traitorous Astartes, Legion. Gain the Let the Galaxy Burn ability, must be upgraded to have the Mark of Khorne, and never gain a Legion trait. And I do that for Tzeentch, Nurgle, and Slanesh. Very, very cool. Man. The Legions, Warlord traits, stratagems, Legion traits. So much here. The Black Legion. Bound to the will of their master, Abaddon the Despoiler. The Black Legion are a dread blight upon the galaxy and amongst the gravest threats to the Imperium. The unrelenting assaults of their numerous warbands draw upon skills honed over the millennia as they wage wars of conquest and commit vengeful massacres, emboldened by their sense of destined superiority. So the Legion trait, Black Crusaders. Merciless and unflinching, the Black Legion exemplify the threat posed by the Heretic Astartes, emerging from the Eye of Terror to vent their eternal hatred in brutal and rapid assaults that tear the throat from their foe. Each time a combat attrition test is taken for a unit with this trait, you can ignore any and all modifiers to that combat attrition test. That's pretty darn good. Each time a model with this trait makes an attack, add 1 to the attack's hit roll if the attack is a ranged attack and the target was the closest eligible enemy unit to the attacking model when this unit was selected to shoot. That attack in melee attack, if that attack is a melee attack and the attacking model's unit made a charge move this turn. Dang! That is pretty darn good. Then they have a secondary objective for match play, Despoil Dominions. And it's a progressive objective. Warlord traits, Veteran Raider, Indomitable, Merciless Overseer, Soul Eater, Trusted War Leader, and Paragon of Hatred. That sounds like a metal band. A Paragon of Hatred. What does that do for you? This exemplar of undying bitterness has sworn never to rest in their eternal vendetta against the Imperium as they vent their loathing against their most hated foes. You can re-roll charge rolls made for this warlord each time this warlord fights if it is within engagement range of an enemy unit, and then until that fight is resolved, add 1 to the attack characteristic of the warlord. If any of those units have the Imperium keyword, add D3 instead of 1. That's pretty cool. So the warlord just loses his crap if there's Imperium players around and he just gets extra attacks. Can you slap that on Abaddon? Because I imagine Abaddon with a bunch of extra attacks is probably pretty darn nasty. Stratagems, Bringers of Despair, Tip of the Spear, Hatred Unbound, Lord of Ezcaron, Confluence of Traitors, Unrelenting Onslaught, Vengeful Skies, Heralds of Doom. And then relics, you got a bunch of relics, whole page of relics. Word Bearers, the Word Bearers, brazenly extolling their corrupted faith in the Chaos God's supremacy, the dark majesty of the warp. The Word Bearers proselytize with Bolter. I don't even know what proselytize? What is that word? I don't even know. I've never seen that word in my life. Leave it to Games Workshop rules writing team to throw words at me. I've never seen it in my life. Watch, it's a common word. Everybody says it. Yeah, I use it all the time. What are you talking about? Anyway, with bolter, blade, and blood sacrifice, in armor the color of gory ritual offerings, etched with sigils that flare with the Imperium's power, these fanatical diabolists spread the maleficent power of the dark gods, opening the way for legions of demonic entities. Their legion trait, Profane Zeal. The Word-Bearers march to war for the glory of the Chaos Pantheon, stirred into the rapturous state of fanaticism by promises of unholy power in return for the offering of battlefield sacrifices. Each time a model with this trait makes a melee attack, if the model's unit made a charge move, was charged, or performed a heroic intervention this turn, you can reroll the attack's hit roll. That's pretty cool. Each time a model with this trait would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, on a 5+, the wound is not lost. Dang! These guys got saves against mortal wounds just right off the hop. Just their Legion trait. Just right off the hop, everybody gets a 5+ against mortal wounds. And then, of course, they have secondary objective, which is for match play. Then they have a bunch of Warlord traits. The Voice of Lorgar, Exalted Possession, Demonic Whispers, Master of the Union, Diabolist, Hate-Fueled Demagogue. Hate-Fueled Demagogue. Sounds serious. Then they got a bunch of stratagems, relics. Man. Night Lords. The Scions of Conrad Currs haunt the galaxy as torturous reavers and shadow-manted monsters. They exult in tormenting the weak, but also savor tearing apart those who hold themselves superior. delighting in revealing courage as a worthless crutch, loyalty as an insidious sham, and faith as unheeded cries into the void. Legion trait, terror tactics. The Night Lords revel in spreading fear and mayhem, and will take apart an opposing army piecemeal, dividing and isolating the weakest enemies so that their confused cries can be savored before being swiftly and violently silenced. How are you violently silenced? I'm sure somebody who has been violently silenced can tell me. Please feel free to let me know down below. How is one violently silenced? I don't know. Anyway. Units with this trait have the following ability. Terror Tactics. It's an aura. While an enemy unit is within 9 inches of this, subtract 2 from the leadership characteristic of models in that unit and subtract 1 from the combat attrition test taken for that unit. Oof. 9 inches away, they're just scaring the crap out of everybody? That makes sense. The science checks out. Each time a model with this trait makes an attack with a melee weapon, if that attack targets a unit that has below half strength when the attacking unit was selected to fight, or if that attack targets a unit that has a leadership characteristic of 5 or less, add 1 to that attack's wound roll. Oof. Then they have a match play secondary objective, Warlord traits, Night Haunter's Curse, Haunters. 1 piece at a time, Murderous Reputation, Killing Fury, 1 with the Shadows, and a Dirty Fighter. And of course they have stratagems as well, and relics. My gosh. The Iron Warriors. The cold-hearted Iron Warriors are experts in raising monstrous fortifications, but revel more in tearing apart those of their foes, which they contemptibly see as worthless. They nurse their hatred, enduring all their enemies can throw at them before unleashing their vengeance in hammer-like assaults of troops, war machines, and demon engines. Their Legion trait is Iron Within, Iron Without. Hardened by the most grueling theaters of war in the galaxy, the Iron Warriors continue to fight long after others of their ilk have fallen. They are embittered siege lords who are able to gouge out even the most stubbornly entrenched enemies. That's pretty cool. And so their trait is, each time a model with this trait makes an attack, the target does not receive the benefits of cover against that attack. That's handy. Each time an attack is allocated to a model with this trait, if the attack has an armor penetration characteristic of -1 or 2, the armor penetration characteristic of attack is worsened by 1. Now, if it says -1 or -2, usually when they throw that kind of rule, it says to a minimum of 1 or -1. So can they just reduce a -1 modifier? Because like -1s are all over the place. That seems kind of dirty. Match play, they have a secondary objective, Masters of Demolition. They have Warlord traits, Siege Lord, Demon Smith, Unyielding Metal, Bastion, Architect of Destruction, Implacable Taskmaster. Implacable Taskmaster. I completely read that wrong. Stratagems, Relics, my God. The Alpha Legion, comprising warbands of liars, schemers, and shadow stalkers of far greater skill than most heretics. The Alpha Legion's labyrinthine ploys are crafted to unnerve the foe and have them chasing ghosts and nightmares. When they reveal themselves, they have long since been embedded in the war zone, seeding chaos cults, identifying targets, and feeding misinformation into a foe's networks. Infiltrators, man. Legion trait, Masters of Duplicity. The warriors of the Alpha Legion are specialists in complex perfidy, using stealth, feints, and misdirection to mislead even the most vigilant enemies into carefully prepared traps before delivering the killing blow. The rules are, each time a ranged attack targets a unit with this trait, if the attacker is more than 12 inches away, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. If the target unit contains any models with a wounds characteristic of 10 or more, the attacker must be more than 18 inches away instead for this benefit to apply. Okay. Units with this trait are eligible to perform an action or declare a charge in a turn in which they fell back. Wow. If a unit with this trait declares a charge while it is performing an action, that action still failed. And then, of course, they have match play, secondary objective, infiltrate and subvert. Warlord traits: I am Alfarius, clandestine, headhunter, master of diversion, cult leader, and covert control. I'm willing to bet as I turn the page, there's going to be stratagems and relics. Hey, look at that. Stratagems, relics. Both full pages. When we're talking stratagem and relics, it's full pages for these things. I'm not going over them. I'm not going over every darn detail of these guys. It's just, this video will just run on forever. Emperor's Children. The Emperor's Children attack with a riotous clash, in a riotous clash of excruciating oral assaults, eye-watering chromatic dissonance, and ostentation percussion to leave their foes in no doubt of their superiority. Their arrogance is matched by their listless ennui at the galaxy's everyday stimuli, and they seek to commit ever viler deeds to draw the eye of their patron deity, Slanesh. Legion trait: flawless perfection. Inured to ordinary sensations by several lifetimes of indulgence, the Emperor's Children find stimulation only in excess, be it brutally shocking acts of violence or gratuitous displays of martial prowess. Each time a model with this trait makes an attack, you can ignore any and all hit roll, weapon skill, and ballistic skill modifiers. That's pretty darn handy. Each time a model with this trait makes an attack on an unmodified roll of 6, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. Oof. That's pretty handy too. They have match play secondary objective. Got Warlord trait: stimulated by pain, intoxicating musk. That's a familiar one. Unbound arrogance. Faultless duelist. Glutton for punishment. Loathsome grace. And as I turn the page, stratagems and relics. Stratagems, relics. Next, we get into Red Corsairs. The Red Corsairs are consummate raiders with vast resources at their disposal, comprising traitorous individuals, each with their own tale of black infamy. They exist to plunder, reave whatever their predatory avarice leads them, often far beyond their strongholds within the Maelstrom. Countless renegades have pledged themselves to Huron Blackheart, and while some seek vengeance, others fight for nothing more than personal power. Legion trait: raiders from the Maelstrom. Freed from the constraints of their loyalty to the Imperium, the Red Corsairs indulge their enhanced capacity for violence. When they emerge from the warp, they strike fast with overwhelming force to achieve their objectives and destroy their targets before the enemy can respond. And so the units with this trait are eligible to declare charge in a turn in which they advanced. Models with this trait count as 2 models when determining control of an objective marker, or 5 models if they have a wounds characteristic of 10 or more. That's pretty cool. So make it more likely that fewer guys can take objectives. Jeez Louise. Then they have some Warlord traits. They only have 3. So it's basically, it's a 1-2 Reaver Lord, 3-4 Angel of Heart, Hatred, 5-6 Dark Raider. Relics, it's only a quick little thing of relics. Stratagem, it's a quick little thing of stratagems. And they also have a matched play secondary objective as well. Creations of Bile. This one I was kind of curious about because I'm not familiar with this one. Comprising abhorrent warbands of augmented heretic Astartes, the varied creations of Bile represent the depths of the progenitor's dark genius. Whether devoted to Bile's search for prized specimens and forbidden knowledge or pledged to his will in payment for his grisly services, these altered warriors expand the web of the spider's sinister influence. Legion trait: experimental enhancements. Fabius Bile is twisted fleshcrafter whose quest to surpass the Emperor's genetic science has borne myriad horrific fruits. As a result, all of his Terrata are chemically, physically, and biomechanically altered by his experiments, elevating their abilities above those of similar beings for now. And so basically with them, for their special rules, add 1 to the move characteristic of models with this trait and add 1 to the strength characteristic of models with this trait. That's pretty handy. Each time a model with this trait is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model has not fought in this phase, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making their attacks and then is removed from play. When making these attacks, if any of the destroyed model's characteristics change as it suffers damage for the purposes of determining what characteristics on its profile to use, the destroyed model is considered to have 1 wound remaining. Dang. Warlord traits, just a few. There's only 3. 1-2 is surgical precision. 3-4 prime test subject. 5-6 twisted regeneration. Relics, it's just a couple relics. Stratagems, just a few stratagems, but they also have a matched play secondary objective as well. Man, so much going on here, and we're only halfway through the book. But I mean, the rest of it's all data sheets and stuff. Then we get into all the stratagems. We have all the battle tactic stratagems. We have the epic deed stratagems, requisition stratagems, strategic ploy stratagems. There's quite a few here. War gear stratagems. Then we get into the marks of chaos, and it has their power level and points values. Mark of Khorne, Mark of Tzeentch, Mark of Nurgle, Mark of Slaanesh. Emperor's Children, if you add an Emperor's Children character or Emperor's Children core unit, excluding cultist units, to your army or crusade force, you must upgrade that unit to have the Mark of Slaanesh. Interesting. And so what does the Mark of Khorne do for us these days? The Mark of the Blood God may manifest as a skull-shaped brand of black fire, the visage of snarling canine, blood-red eyes that weep ichor, and a brazen halo erupting from the skull. Okay. Sounds cute. Each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, if the model's unit made a charge move that was charged or performed a heroic intervention this turn, add 1 to the strength characteristic of that attack. If this unit has the icon keyword, each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. Wow. It has the Mark of Nurgle, Mark of Tzeentch, Mark of Slaanesh. Relics, got a whole bunch of relics going on, whole bunch of demon names and stuff like that. So, oof. Look, there's this really interesting bit of art right on this page. Obviously, it's got to be Tzeentch, because it's all twisted with mouths and eyeballs and all sorts of craziness. I assume it's Tzeentch. More relics. Inferno Tomb. Yeah. Oh, another one with some like techno doodads and stuff on it. Very, very cool. Dark Hereticus Discipline. Skynes of Fate. Putrid Miasma. Delightful Agonies. Man. Oh, it's for the Psychers. Malefic Discipline. All the different psychic powers. My gosh. Prayers to the Dark Gods. Dark Zealotry. It's an aura. Man, there is so much here. Warlord traits. Flames of Spite. Unholy Fortitude. Hatred Incarnate. Lord of Terror. Eternal Vendetta. Gaze of the Gods. Gives the name characters and the warlord traits for them. Okay, so I guess we can't have that one warlord trait where you get the extra attacks against Imperium players, right? Or wait, or is that Paragon of Hatred? Oh, is that? Oh, I think he automatically gets it. Abaddon. That's kind of cool. It's got the chapter approved rules: No Mercy, No Respite, Purge the Enemy, and Shadow Apparitions for match play. Get all our Crusade rules. Spawn them. Chaos Warbands. Gives you all the glory points. Man. All sorts of agendas, requisitions, battle traits, chaos boons, the Crusade relics. Gotta play more Crusade, man. Then it has the special rules for the Black Legion, Word Bearers, Night Lords, Iron Warriors, Alpha Legion, Emperor's Children, Red Corsairs, and Creations of Bile. I'm not familiar with Creations of Bile. Is that a thing that's been around for a bit? I don't even know. Crusade Army, it's giving us a profile of Caleb McPherson. There looks like they're Night Lord Army. Then we get into the data sheets, the all-important data sheets. Let the galaxy burn. If every unit in your army has the Traitorous Astartes keyword, excluding models with Agent of Chaos or unaligned, and every Legion unit from your army, excluding Abaddon, is from the same Legion, the unit gains the following rules. Each time a model in this unit shoots with a flame weapon, when determining how many attacks are made with that weapon in the phase, add 2 to the result. Huh! Just D6 plus 2. You get more dudes. This unit gains a bonus, depending on which wanton act it is engaged in, as follows. During the first battle round, your army and every unit in it is engaged in wanton destruction. During the second battle round, your army and every unit in it engaged in wanton massacre. And, so there's different rules for different wanton destruction, massacre, and slaughter. Wanton slaughter, wanton massacre, and wanton destruction. Okay, what does wanton massacre do for us? Barbarous firefights and indiscriminate slaying of foes have been notorious hallmarks of the Heretic Astarte wars for millennia. While this unit is engaged in wanton massacre, each time a model in this unit makes an attack with rapid fire, assault, or pistol weapon, an unmodified roll of 6 scores an additional hit. That's pretty cool. That is pretty darn cool. So as the battle progresses, they get a little deadlier, as long as you're meeting the criteria. That's very interesting. That's a very interesting mechanic to have, and also to try and keep track of as well. Then we get into the data sheets. We got Abaddon. Abaddon's beefy as heck. Harkon, World Claimer, Huron Blackheart. And the picture for him looks like the classic model, so I know some have speculated that there's an update coming up for him. It still looks like the same dude. Demon Prince, Fabius Bile, and it's the old picture of the Demon Prince. It's not the new Demon Prince. So, interesting. Fabius Bile, Cypher, Master of Possession, a Chaos Lord in Terminator armor, Sorcerer in Terminator armor, and Lucius the Eternal. That's a classic Lucius model. Unless, of course, maybe there's a new one coming out. Yeah, isn't there? Wait. Oh, no, that's the Horus Heresy one. Never mind. Lord Discordant on Hellstalker and a Warp Smith. Very cool. Then we're still in HQs. Dark Apostle, Exalted Champion, Dark Commune. Then we get into the troops. Legionnaires, Cultist Mob, a Cursed Cultist. Oh, the Cursed Cultists are all mutated up. Hey, go up to what? Just 10? Looks like just 10. Whereas Cultist Mob can go up to 20 models. Legionnaires can go up to 10 models. It's 5 to 10 kind of thing. Chaos Terminators can go up to 10 models. Master of Executions is a character. An elite. Possessed. Elite. Up to 10 of those possessed dudes. Oof. They're fast. Tough. Lots of wounds. Yeah. They're no joke. They're no joke. Chosen. I have up to 10 of them. A Hellbrute. Just one duder. He's an elite. Noise Marines. They're elite. Can have up to 10 of them in a unit. Venom Crawler is fast attack. That's fast. Yeah, 12-inch move. Yeah, it's fast. Chaos Spawn. Chaos Bikers. Raptors. Warp Talons. Then heavies. It's Havoc. Obliterators. 1 to 3. Same unit size. Havoc's only 5. Raptors and Talons are 10. Like unit size. Chaos Land Raider for heavy. Chaos Vindicator. Chaos Predator Destructor. Chaos Predator Annihilator. Then the all famous Defiler. He's got a variable profile. Still tough. He's not like, Wraith Lord tough, but he's tough. Got lots of weapon options. Yeah. Forge Fiend. Mauler Fiend. I like the Mauler Fiend over the Forge Fiend. Forge Fiend, the head is just kind of like it's a big blaster gun thing. Whereas the Mauler Fiend, at least it looks like, a beastie of some sort, right? Then we got the Chaos Rhino for transports, and then for flyers we have the classic Helldrake. Do we think that the Helldrake needs an update? Do we think it does? I think it does. The Khorne Lord of Skulls as a Lord of War, of course. And then the Nochlith Crown, the icon thingy, piece of terrain. His aura changes as per turn. They get an invulnerable save while within range. So turn 1, it's only 6 inches, but if you go 5+, it's 18 inches. That's crazy. Then we get into weapon profiles by page 176. It gives us all our weapon tables and stuff. Of course, it's Chaos. There's a whole bunch of crazy names to all these different weapons. Gives us all our points values for HQ, elites, troops, fast attack, heavy support, flyer, dedicated transport, Lord of War, and fortifications. Got our glossary, reference page, and of course our chart for keeping track of our Crusade Chaos points. And that is it. That is Chaos Space Marines Codex Chaos Space Marines. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this look through, first impressions review. I know it's mostly useless, but give you an idea what's in the book for anybody who's on the fence. Anybody who's a longtime Chaos player, obviously you're going to be picking this up because it's a must-have. But anybody else who's on the fence as far as variety and, you know, just kind of having fun within the faction. I mean, there's so many options and so much. I mean, it typically gets called soup, but you can have Chaos Soup, Alphabet Chaos Soup, right? And yeah, like why not? And of course, there's also Death Guard, Thousand Sons, Emperor's Children are in this book, unless of course we get an Emperor's Children book someday. Who knows? Creations of Bile, I had no idea that that was a thing. Is that brand new to this book? Is there previous versions of it? I don't know. Again, like I said, I've been out of the loop for a long time with Chaos. So let me know down below that if it's a new thing or if it's been around. And of course, Codex World Eaters is due out later this year, 2022, if you're watching this in the far future or whatever. So yeah, huge thank you to Games Workshop for sending me a review copy of this book. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, they're gonna get me back into Chaos, aren't they? They're gonna try and do it. I think they're gonna try and do it. I mean, I was a longtime Chaos fan, and Black Legion as well. I used to play Black Legion. Mine were painted Luna Wolves, but they're Black Legion. Anyway, big thank you to my patrons. Without your support, these videos would not be possible. If considering Patreon support, click the link in the description below. There are various tiers of support, and a huge thank you to all my patrons for the continued support, and to all you brand new ones as well. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, commenting, ringing the bell, blah, 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 help as well. And a huge thank you to everybody who does that as well. So thank you. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys in the next useless review. Well, I won't see you. You'll see me. Or maybe I can see you. Get that out of your mouth. Quit picking your nose.